Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and today we're making Mexican Style Sauerkraut. So we're going to be moving kind of fast, but this is just so that you get an idea of how to make it. You want to start with your regular cabbage, remove the outer leaves, cut it in half, remove the core, and then cut it into quarters. Once you do that, you're going to clean and rinse it off real well and set it to the side so that you can shred. I've written the recipe below in percentages, and so every single ingredient is going to be based off of the quantity of cabbage that you have. Once you have it completely cored and cleaned and quartered, you're going to take your outer leaves and you're going to mix 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. Basically 1 cup of white vinegar to 4 cups of regular water. And what this is going to do is this is going to sanitize your outer leaves so that when you place it on top, you're not adding any unwanted bacteria. Now shred your cabbage. However you shred it, just make sure it's consistent and thinly sliced. After you're done shredding it, you're going to want to weigh all your cabbage and record that weight in grams. The next ingredients are all based off of your weight in grams. You're going to have garlic, you're going to have jalapeno, you're going to have onion, and you're going to have cilantro, as well as salt and cumin. Now, all of the vegetable and herb ingredients are going to be placed in some sort of a food processor. And in your food processor, you're going to pulse that a few times to where you get a really fine chop. Now, all I'm doing right here is I'm just pre-prepping so that when it goes into the food processor, it's a little bit easier for it to work out. Now, the cumin, I toasted first, but you don't have to, and the salt. And that's basically the ingredients. You have cabbage, cumin, salt, jalapeno, cilantro, you've got onion, and you have garlic. And short of tomatillo, you have an amazing green salsa recipe right here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take all of those ingredients and you're going to mix it with your cabbage. And that's it. So for us, the easiest thing to do is to add the salt and cumin in layers as we mix the vegetables with the cabbage. And obviously we're making 35 pounds. But if you're making 32 ounces or 128 ounces, it really doesn't matter. All you want to do is you want to make sure that you add your salt and cumin on all your vegetables and you incorporate all those ingredients together. The salt is going to start drawing liquid out of the cabbage. And once you're done completely mixing it, you're going to let it sit on the counter with a lid on it for about an hour. And this is going to help really start to draw a lot of that moisture out. At which point you're going to stuff it into whatever container you're going to use to ferment. After each time that you stuff your container, you're going to want to make sure you tamp it down. So tamp it down really well, because what we want is we want a very compact sauerkraut. We want our basin to be completely loaded down with sauerkraut. And so notice I've got mine to the top. By the time I'm finished tamping down, I'm going to probably have about 8 inches of space. Once you're completely done, add whatever liquid that was left behind in the bowl that you were macerating in. Add that to your container and go ahead and put your cabbage leaves. These cabbage leaves are just going to prevent any of the ingredients from rising to the top during your fermentation cycle. Neat little trick. Everything that ferments in this particular bin is going to want to be below the brine. If it's floating on top, then you risk the possibility of it growing any kind of unwanted bacteria. You don't want that. Sometimes during a ferment, you may get a white yeast that occurs on the top. It's a film. There's no reason to worry about it. It's completely harmless. But I did notice that if you open your crock pot a lot during the time of your ferment, basically introducing oxygen, you run the risk of having that happen a lot more. So I typically don't open my crock pot, with the exception of one time, and that's here in a minute. Once you put your weights, you're going to go ahead and skim the top to remove the floating ingredients, onion, cilantro, jalapeno, whatever you got that's floating. And then 24 hours later, you're going to check the brine level. So the next day, open it. Make sure that your brine is at least 1 inch above your weight. Now, if you're using a glass jar, you can just visibly look. But all I'm doing right here is I'm checking my brine level, and I'm roughly 1 inch above the weights. So I'm good to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close it, and it's going to stay closed for 21 days. 65 to 75 Fahrenheit is ideal. If it's hotter in your kitchen, it's going to ferment faster. If it's colder in your kitchen, it's going to ferment slower. Okay, so for us, it's been 21 days. Time to take it out. It smells amazing. The smokiness from the cumin is really coming through. You get that wonderful sauerkraut smell. At this stage, it's tangy, it's crispy, it's full of flavor, and it's going to go great on nachos, tacos, burritos, tostadas, fajitas, it doesn't matter. Thanks for watching. I hope you get a chance to make this sauerkraut, and if you do, leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up, click that notification bell, and we'll see you in the kitchen.